Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a celebrity psychic reading on Selena Quintanilla. She is the beautiful Tejano superstar from Corpus Christi. And a lot of people wanted to know, have asked about this. I've been very respectful. So let me just start off by saying that I'm a huge Selena fan, and I am from Texas as well. So I'm send out my love and support to her family. And when I do this reading, I'm going to do it with utmost respect and unconditional love for them and for Selena Quintanilla, her memory. So a lot of you that would be tuning into this, please be very respectful, especially in the comment section below regarding this. And just know that there's a lot of things that were said and put out in the media, but I'm going to be channeling her soul and just the energy that I get from spirit about her and what went on and why this beautiful young lady passed at such a young age. So when I get into Selena Quintanilla's soul, for those of you that don't know, she was a singer, because a lot of the younger generations, a lot of y'all would know. I mean, there's no way not to know. She has influenced and paved the way for many Tejano music superstars and just people in music, in the music industry, whether it was, English music or any kind of music. But she influenced a lot of people and a lot of the artists today, and a lot of her style and her fashion. She was also a fashion designer and very talented, may I say. A lot of her fashions and trends and hairstyles, and a lot of her her energy and her essence has carried through generations since her passing. And a lot of people have been influenced by her musically or fashion wise and etc. So she is an icon. She is someone who is going to always, her memory is going to live on. Her soul is always going to live on in the public eye. So I'm going to get into this for those of you that are maybe sensitive to this kind of, because the way that she passed was a very harsh and tragic way. So those of you that are sensitive, this is viewer discretion is advised. If you don't feel like you can handle hearing this because you're an empath, I'm an empath as well, you may not want to listen to this video. Okay, because I'm going to be as unfiltered as possible. There's a lot of messages here. Okay, I'm taking a deep breath and I'm just going to ask for the divine to guide me through this reading, because it's very emotional. So the first thing that I get from Selena is that she was someone who lived her life the way that she wanted. She was very carefree, a free spirit. She didn't have any restraints. She was spontaneous. She liked adventure. She liked to take chances. She didn't have fear. Selena didn't know what fear was. She was brought up in a very strong, close-knit family. I feel like her father instilled a lot of morals and principles on her, in her, and also her mom and her brothers and sisters, brother and sister. And I get that she would have had a lot of carefree spirit and just knew what she wanted to do. She was almost like, I know that she wasn't a Scorpio energy, but she comes across very strongly like a Scorpio would. When I look into her eyes and look into her soul, that's the way she was. She was fearless, and there was this mysterious thing about her. She came to Earth with a mission, and she completed her mission. Her mission was to heal people through her music. She was destined to be famous. It was in her destiny, as well as her family's name, to be known throughout history for generations to come in the music world. So she knew that from a little girl that she had this, and she had intuitive abilities. I feel like her father has it, and also her sister and her brother. They all have, this family is very intuitive. They have these abilities, and they know certain things, or they could see certain things. They're very, the bloodline has like a lot of these, again, people that would be listening to this may not be as open-minded. They may think this is kind of silly, but I feel like her family comes from a bloodline that has like a lot of Indian or Aztec, like Native American bloodline and heritage that is very connected to spirit and very spiritual. So regardless of what their religious preferences were or are, I feel like a lot of it has evolved since Selena's passing, and a lot of it's changed. But for Selena, at the core of who she was and the core of what she served here in on earth while she was here, it was all about family. Family was everything, and she was a very special soul. I feel like she was definitely a starseed for her time, or an indigo, and she comes from like a rainbow family. I feel like she was an evolved consciousness here. So she came in a time, and listen to me very carefully when I say this, because it's kind of hard to understand. But her mission here, as she was here on Earth, was to raise consciousness through her music, to provide healing, to let people know that it's not wrong to chase what you want to chase and do what you want to do. And that's what she did. She took music, she made it beautiful, she made it in her style. She did all these these songs that were cumbias. She did a lot of these things that and incorporated new fashion. She took fashion risks that most people at that time, you know, especially in the Tejano industry, wouldn't have done, because it's a lot different than, you know, the upbringings and morals and things that are a little different in certain cultures than other cultures. So she took and she pushed the bounds and the limits. She was like, in many ways, the, you know, the Mexican version of Madonna in many ways. And I don't want that just to come across as ugly or, you know, or misinterpret or tarnish her name, but she was a pioneer. That, you know, when it comes down to the core, what I'm trying to say, I'm just using that as an example. She was a pioneer, and she did it, and that was part of her soul's contract and her mission while she was here on earth. But it didn't come without a price. What I'm getting from her soul and what I'm hearing from spirit is that there was a lot of people, not just the evil person, the monster that did this to her, but there was a lot of people that surrounded her that didn't have her best interest at hand. There was people that knew that she was going to be famous, that she was already rising to the stardom, and they wanted a piece of it. They wanted to hurt her in some kind of way. And I feel like many people took advantage of her kindness and took from her. And she didn't mind, because you have to understand, I feel like with Selena, she had a pure soul, a very light worker, a very higher vibration of energy. So when people in this world see someone that maybe has reached the fame that she did or the success that she did, it wasn't without hard work. But there's a lot of souls that have come back into the earth that are dark souls and dark energies. And a lot of these energies and dark souls, they come back because they feel like through someone like Selena and her music that they were able to get, that she was going to be able to help them in some kind of way. Whether this was meeting her in person at a concert or just, you know, knowing the family. I feel like the family was targeted by a lot of people prior to her passing. People that wanted handouts, people that wanted money. They wanted them to help them in some kind of way because they knew, you know, especially Corpus Christi, it's not like Houston or Los Angeles or New York, which is a big city. You know, Corpus is a pretty decent population, but it's still considered relatively small. So people that would have known her family and would have known them, you know, I feel like there was a lot of people that wanted a piece of the pie. They wanted a piece of Selena's success. They wanted the family to contribute it. So there was a lot of people, and I feel like the family, you know, had to say no and set up some healthy boundaries. They were always there. They've always been the humble, good people. You know, I don't know them personally, but I feel like they're very humble, very good energy. This is what I'm getting from Selena's soul and from my spirit guides, that, you know, they try to help people as much as possible, but they also like their privacy. They like, you know, to have their own space. And being that they were, you know, in this music industry, I feel like that was one of the things that they had to experience. And I'm also getting that there was a lot of secrets within the family itself, things that maybe they didn't want the public to know, things that I won't discuss out of privacy. But there was a lot of things that Spirit is showing me that they that were coming to the light slowly. This would have been around family, relationships. These are things that not even the movie has. The movie that was out on TV based on her life story. That's not even showing all the things that went on in the family. So there was a lot of things that were being brought and illuminated and being brought into the light months coming up before her passing. I also get that there would have been other males other than Chris that were after Selena. These were people that would have found her very attractive, loved her energy, and people that these are males, and get at least two of them. So one could have been Chris, which was already her partner, and but there was another male I'm hearing, and I'm getting another male, and he was about the same age as them, and I feel like he was very interested in her, but for some reason, she knew that Chris was her soulmate, and that was the person that she was going to be with. So I'm getting that, that there was other people that were interested in her prior to her passing, and this is just coming in strongly. And there's this sense that people, she gave effortlessly to charities. She had her fan club, so there was a lot of focus around money and giving to people and just being very happy in everything that she did. But like I said, ultimately there was a price to pay with everything that went on. So as her career was prospering, she was going to cross over into the music industry. I just get that there was a lot of devil energy around one specific person. And I won't mention that person's name. Everybody would know who was the person that contributed to her passing. This is a female energy, but this female was very twisted, and she carries a very much like a devil energy. So I feel like this person was very much operating out of her masculine side. There were some mental issues. There was some instability in this person. It became an obsession, something that was very dark, and I feel like she was blackmailing Selena in many ways. There was things that were not said, things that were not said until the very end, until the confrontation. I feel like there was a lot of lies that were going on, a lot of threatening. I hear threatening that if you don't do this, this is going to happen. And I feel like, in many ways, Selena didn't want to go to that place, but she felt compelled to confront this by herself. But I feel like her family, whether this was her dad or someone else, they told her, don't do it. Like, don't go alone. But she was very stubborn, and she wanted to do things on herself and be independent, and she did. But again, I feel like this other person is, fabricated a lot of lies since she's been put away, and there's a lot of red tape and things that this person is delusional about. Does that person have any remorse? No. Is this person a dark soul on earth that reincarnated? Yes. I feel like she is being held accountable already through her health. It wouldn't be the best. I also feel like this person is going to continue to have bad karma and will be held accountable also at the spiritual level when they return to spirit. And I get that there is a lot of Selena wanted to also kind of like towards the end, she wanted to kind of take some time off. She wanted to be a little bit more into herself and her family. And really, even though she was had this career success, she was looking towards maybe falling pregnant and starting a family with her husband. But I feel like she was giving a lot of herself, a lot of her time and energy to two different people. So whether this was Chris and this was her career, she was like having to choose. That's what I'm getting from her soul and I'm getting from spirit. She had to choose between two different things, and it was very hard for her to make that choice. Like, she really loved her career. That was everything for her, and she never wanted to disappoint her fans. But she had to decide ultimately what she wanted to do, and it's like she was trying to keep the balance, but there was a lot of pressure, and again, there was a lot of lies and things that were not being told to her, and there was money that was being lost. I feel like even though she was being successful and having the taste of success and money, there was a lot of money that was going that was being lost, and there was like a releasing in many ways of her trying to go in a different direction. I feel like she didn't want to abandon her core roots, but she knew that this was one of the reasons she wanted to cross over. And I think a lot of people at the record label and other people were scared that this was a mistake, that she shouldn't do it and she should stay true to her roots. But like I said, going back to what I see initially at the beginning of this reading, she took chances and she wanted to take a risk, and she knew that she was good at singing. She was very talented, and she would have had success in that and her fashion designing and everything else that was coming in. I feel like she also had a vision for like makeup down the road, and she wanted to do that as well. Well, fast forward now, Val Mac had the Selena lipstick, so there is a lot that is being fulfilled even after her passing. And what I get for her and the messages that I get for the family is that she wants all her fans to know that she loves and appreciates each and every one of them, and that she's very grateful, and that there is, I don't know if the family is working on releasing like unreleased portions of music, or this would be something that they're working on, or even writing their own book about her. But there's something in the works that's going to continue, that I'm getting from Spirit, that there is like a book or unreleased music, like there is another album that is coming through. And they may even, how this comes across is like I hear other artists singing, and maybe like snippets of her voice used in their music. But there's definitely that going on there. And I'm also getting that for her mom and her dad and her sister and brother, that she loves them very much, and she thanks them for honoring her memory and for keeping them alive. She's talking about her laugh, and she wants them to remember that laugh, because I feel like that is something that really that would resonate with them. They really remember her laugh. And there's not a day that doesn't go by that they don't look at her photograph. So I feel like wherever they live, the family now, whether they've gone their own separate ways, but they all have a photograph of her, and they all like look at her photograph daily, or they're reminded of her presence. And some of them can feel it. I feel like the father and the mother have had dreams. They feel her energy and her presence. This is not their imagination. She is very much aware, and she is with them. I also feel like her soul is going to reincarnate. That's what I'm getting from her. So in many ways, for those of you that are thinking, well, it's too soon to reincarnate, I've understood that reincarnation takes maybe hundreds of years, or etc. But Selena didn't get to live out her full life and her mission. And so I feel like she is going to be reincarnating somewhere in the family, whether this is through her brother or some other family member, in the family. But she is going to be coming back, and I feel like she is going to be reborn to give a second chance. And this will be a female as well, child. And she will be coming back to pursue the music and to pursue everything. As far as her enemy, the one that took her life, she forgives her, and she wants the family to also forgive and move on. There's a lot of pain that they've held on to, this devil energy that took her from the world, and there's a lot of anger still out in the world because of her passing. And basically what Selena is saying is that she wants them to just make peace for themselves, and just like the flower, like her song Como la Flor, is to just flourish and really look forward to a beautiful tomorrow, and to enjoy every moment, to not take their family for granted, to always love their family, because she loved her family very much, and she still does, and to just really experience all the good things that life has to offer. Picture their lives almost like a roller coaster. So I don't know if she ever got on a roller coaster, or she loved like the amusement park, but I keep getting these images of her on a roller coaster and also on the amusement park. She was a big kid at heart, and even though she was an adult, she was a big kid at heart, and that's what she wants her mom and her dad and her family to remember her as, that big kid, that big jokester, that the funny person, the one who would find some things that were funny, whether it was eating Cheetos or eating, certain things, and she would make fun. I feel like when she ate food, people would she would make fun, or just like kind of crack a joke and make everybody at the table laugh. So these are the things that I get visions of, and the things that her soul is communicating. But she is okay. She is at peace. She is happy. And I feel like what she is doing up there is working with the creative energies that deal with music, and very much being like a teacher on the other side, helping people and helping humanity as well with music here on earth. The new sounds, the new things that are coming into as ideas from people, she would be working on that with that special team up in the higher realms that work with music. So I hope that you did enjoy this reading. She is okay for all of you that are out there. So blessings and love and light. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section below, on any suggestions on any other readings that I should be doing. I will be doing some more. Also, check out my show, Tea with Spirit. And again, this airs every Monday on my channel. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day.